Hey, my cannonballs, we're back for a short, quick second. Just for a short, quick second. I was really pissed off earlier about a few things and about the devices that I have. You know, I'm really getting tired of buying phones. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi or the data that's causing certain videos not to come out right. They could be a little choppy, so therefore it's like, damn, it's chopped and screwed. That's a good video. I might take a few of them down, but yeah. But I'm feeling okay. I got a little bit of a headache right now. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Lately, I just haven't really been taking pain pills. I don't know what it is about me, but I just been kind of just letting my body heal itself on its own for the time being. I can handle pain. You know, hell, my arm is still kind of hurting right now from a little incident, but you know, I can rough it and hopefully it will get back to normal. But yes, your boy's okay. Your boy's okay. And you guys, I gotta say this. I really do gotta say this. You guys don't have to, you know, tell me about anybody that we all know of and that may have been saying anything. And there's plenty of other people that's been saying a lot. You guys don't have to tell me about them. You don't have to even mention their names in my chat. It is okay. I don't have any hatred in my heart for anybody out there. I can't have hatred in my heart. I just can't. I don't want anything bad to prevent me from getting into the kingdom of God. You know, and I do gotta say this too. I gotta be honest with a person because I am just not in the mood to just be really even talking with them in a certain type of way, and by that I mean in a very friendly way, or not even a friendly way. I would say a relationship type of way. I'm gonna have to let them know that I'm just not ready for that right now. I'm not ready to rush into getting anything right now. It's important for me to heal from all of the things that I kind of went through over the months, and I gotta fix me, and I just can't fake the funk. I gotta be honest. I just gotta be honest, and I know it may hurt this person. It may hurt this person, but it is what it is. There's plenty of people out there in the sea. You just so happenly to come across me, you know. And I don't, I hate doing that. I hate breaking, well, I really do hate breaking hearts, but I hate to be the bearer of bad news when it comes to someone that likes me. And I gotta just tell them the truth that we can't be what you want us to be. I didn't give it up, or I didn't do anything they didn't give it up either. So it's just like we can always just be friends without relations. Some people may say that's hard to do. Well, that's kind of hard to how can I say it? That's kind of hard to be friends when there's attraction there. But I don't know. I'm just thinking that you're cute, but I just don't see a future with that person, and it's okay. It's okay. I just rather get myself together, you know, on the safe side. I don't want to bring any baggage or have someone feeling like, you know, are you gonna do this and do that? And then, it's distance involved, it's other things involved. It's just something that I feel in my heart that it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. And so therefore, I just gotta be honest and tell this person that we just gotta be friends. That's the best way for me, honestly. I really do enjoy being by myself. I don't really feel like being with anybody else right now. I really don't. I don't, you know, I really don't. Honestly, I'm not even qualified to be anybody with me to be with anybody right now because I don't have a lot of things together and I need to have my stuff together in order to really just to take it full throttle. And I don't want to come in half stepping, I gotta make sure it's a 50-50 type of situation. So I will be telling the person the bad news. Hopefully they don't crash out on me and say, "Oh, you were being this way and that way." Well, I'm not giving you any mixed signals. You know, when certain people call me baby and bae, I don't know how to handle that. It's a little bit too early to say that to me. You know, because I'm not that yet, and I'm not gonna never be that. Because I just know within myself that I don't really like this. I don't really like this person like I thought I did. I don't. And I hate that is I hate that I have to do this, but I gotta do it. If I don't do it, I just be a lying fool. Since I have been, you know what, you guys, since I have been accused of being a liar, you know, I'm not the only liar out there. I didn't have to lie about certain things to collect a check. I didn't have to lie about certain things for sympathy from my supporters. I'm not like that. And I think that's very, very deceitful because if you already knew in advance that you had something else on the back end that's going to come through for you, why put it out there to the world as if you're in um, you're in stagnant right now and you don't know what to do? It's that's a liar right there. Since I'm considered a liar, you also are a liar too. You also are a liar too. Yeah, and you also like to humiliate people when they're down. hmm And it's not content. It's not content. You're no different from anybody else out here. If you ask me, you're not. You're not. And it's something how people can constantly, talk about you over and over again. And it's like you ain't got nothing else to talk about. I'm sure your audience is pretty tired of hearing certain names. That's why I don't really do. That's why I don't have to say names over here. I really don't. I can just talk very, very subliminal. And if you feel like it's you, well, damn it, you'll holler. But I don't. I want to be honest with my supporters. I don't want to be dishonest, and then playing with God too with that. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. But so many people want to say I see you for who you are. Well, we all have been seeing you for who you are over the years. And I never looked at you as if you were just somebody special. I just looked at you for who you really was. Especially when you got to shading me for no apparent reason. But you know what? That is your character. That is who you are. You can say that it's a show, but I don't think that's a show. I believe that is the real you. Yeah, we even had another I really do. I believe them. I really do. And it's something how people can try to treat people so nasty, but then when they get called out about their nasty ways, they try to make up excuses, for their nasty behavior. And it's like you can't make up any excuses. I really can take accountability or say I'm sorry. You know, all you can do is continue to go on with that nasty ass behavior, and that's a shame for a person to be at an age that you do. That you're not upset. Oh, and you don't take things so seriously. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. Because if you didn't take it so seriously, and if you wasn't, if you wasn't coming back on here and trying to play in our faces as if you're not mad, you're sadly mistaken. You're not fooling anybody but yourself. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. But you know what I know. But you know one thing I know that ain't. I know. But you know one thing that I know. Who I can see if I was in your shoes, and people were telling me and saying certain things about me, but they don't see you. You are being looked at as someone that is just mean, disrespectful. a hypocrite, a liar, hmm and you get all in your feelings about stuff that you say you don't care about, but in actuality, you really do. Just be honest with yourself. We know that you take this seriously too. You do. You can say it from here to dawn, but you do take it seriously. You do. But hey, you're here for the coin, and I totally understand that. But all money ain't good money. But I would just say watch your ways because you will see a reflection on how you treat people out here. And that's one of my slogans. How you treat people will be a reflection on how people treat you. And we've been seeing that for years. We have. We've been seeing that for years. How you doing, Twister? We've been seeing that for years. And you have not changed at all. Only thing that you have changed is your size and your clothes and whatever you decide to put in your mouth. Those are the only changes that we have seen. But that attitude, your ways, your wicked ways, we have not seen any difference. And I wonder why. To be the man of us, of the cloth, I just wonder why you're not choosing to do a 360. Since you love God so much, you would think that God would be working on you. But are you willing to let Him work on you, or are you willing to let the devil work on you? And you get on here acting the way that you're acting. You know. Now you can show those church people one way, or really one side. I mean, but when you get away from around them and you get out, when you get out there and them out them doors into the parking lot and get in your car, you're going back to your old fleshly ways. They ain't left you. They ain't left you at all. And you're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling me at all. You know. And when I did my feelings, I was just waiting. I'm just waiting for the right time. So you thought I wasn't supposed to say anything. I was just supposed to just let you just be all, you know, nice, nasty to me, and I just couldn't accept that from you because, I have a voice and I have feelings and I have a mind of my own, whether you know it or not, whether you know it or not. It's the truth, and it's so sad that I was young. Hmm. But you know what? That tells me how you was raised. Honestly, I see that. I see that you can be a product of your environment, and it's a lot of times when you are taken out of your environment, the things that you know and how you was treated can still be installed in you still, and you will still be walking around with that same old behavior, and that same old behavior won't get you too many places. It won't. It really won't. You can be so educated and street smart. But at the same time, when it comes to being a human being and a person to the next person and being how you are, hmm, I wonder could that ever change? I don't think so. I don't think it will. I don't think it will. And I'm not going to kiss no ass. Better yet, wipe some ass. I'm not kissing your ass. I'm not rubbing your feet. And I'm damn sure ain't massaging you. You got a nigga for that. You do. But hey, you can think what you want to think. I can give a rat's ass about it. I really can because I don't have to talk about the same people every day. I don't have to do that. That is just for me. It's a little boring over there. It's boring. I mean, good grief. You would think somebody wants to have sex with somebody, but the infatuation of it all. I'm just saying, it's something. Hey, big taste, how you doing? Yeah, but you would think that someone wants to, get in somebody's drawers. That's what I mean. It just reminds me of a schoolboy chasing after a schoolgirl and, being mean to her. But in actuality, he really wants that. Yes, indeed. And they can easily, a lot of people can easily say, oh, I don't want that person and this person. But in actuality, you're probably fantasizing about that person. Ain't no telling. I don't put it past a lot of you niggas out there. I don't. I don't. I can't. You know? I just can't. A lot of niggas that I done came across have kind of almost been similar the same, just a different face. Same script, but a different actor. hmm Yes, indeed. That's why I'm glad that I'm able to get out of certain situations when it comes to niggas like you. You know, I guess you may want to expect me to get out of my body or show certain things so you can talk about it. But at some point, you can't really talk about nobody because you have done things, whether they were good or bad. You have. We have done a lot of things. And at the end of the day, you're no different from anybody else. You can sing all those songs. You can quote all those scriptures, but you're no different. You're still a filthy rag in the eyesight of God. Yes, I'm saying it. Yes, I'm saying it. And you talk about people getting online, displaying certain things. Well, you have been displaying a lot of bad behavior over the years. A whole lot, a whole lot. And you thought it was cute. And I just can't believe that those older women are falling into the trap. Now, hopefully, you won't be sending them to hell. Hopefully, because at this point, I think you ain't. I don't see you changing no time soon. So, I understand. That's why I understand why you are the way that you are. But at the same time, we need to be real. We need to be realistic here. Okay, we need to be realistic. So we all need to change our ways because we can't get into the heavenly gates and thinking that we're gonna just be the same old me. No, 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 no. Mm-mm-mm. No, we cannot. We can't do that. Mm-mm. Somebody got to do some changing and working on themselves and their ways. It's important. It's really important. It really is. It's very important. You know. And me personally, if I did have anybody on my arm, I wouldn't want to be ashamed to display the affection of the love. I guess someone is just scared because they don't want to have to deal with people's opinions about their love. But who cares? They're not in the bed with them. You are. You know. And it also reminds me of those people that behind the avatars. They have so much to say about this person and that person, but see, they don't have the guts or really the balls to get behind the screen or really to show who they really are. But they can sit online, day here and day in and day out, talking about people. Hmm. I'm just waiting on the camera slip. I'm really am. I'm just waiting on the camera slip on that day. I can't wait to see a face that a mother only could love. Yes, indeed. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, I was a little upset. I had to do some zen. I had to take a couple of breaths because I was really pissed about something on my mind, and I really feel like whatever that is that I gotta go through, I shouldn't have to go through it. You know, I really do feel like a lot of the times I um I make mistakes, and I feel like I shouldn't do certain things to make other parties do what they want to do. By that I mean go to certain measures that can affect me in my real life, and I am trying to work on that. I gotta work on that because if I don't work on that, it'll get me in trouble. Oh, I got heartburn, you guys. Give me a second. Mm. And I had a nice little dinner, you guys. I had made me some greens, potatoes, and some pork chops, and I had added me some pinto beans that I made some days ago. Scratching and surviving. I had to do that, and I had to make one of those type of meals for the week. I enjoyed it. It was a nice one. You know, and that's another thing too. I'm so glad that God is blessing me. God has blessed me. I don't care what it is and how low things may be, but I'm able to still have something to put in my mouth, to put right down to go right down to my belly, so I won't be hungry for the night. And I'm just grateful for that. I really am. And when it comes to people saying you don't do this and you don't do that, you don't know what I do. You don't know what I do. I don't know what you do. As far as I'm concerned, you probably just going to, I mean, I could say you just going out to eat and then coming right on back home. And who has time to be on the phone for a certain amount of time, on their lunch breaks? I mean, uh, I would think that that would be an issue with the company. You know, it would be. And honestly, if I'm at work, I don't think about getting online just to talk and talk about folks. I will wait until it's time for me to clock out when I'm on my time. Because whether you on the lunch break, you still, well, I don't want to sound foolish, even though that is your time, but I will still, you still look, you're still on the job. You're still on the job. You're still on the job. Hey, Feet Brown, how you doing? I'm trying to stay calm. I am trying to stay calm. I'm trying to stay very calm. You know, the devil tries to, get me a little flustered at times, but I have to, continue to ask God for guidance and strength and prayer. You know, that's the person I'm going to. I'm not going to anybody off of YouTube looking for answers and guidance as if they are my therapist or my pastor. I'm talking to God, the one that created everything, the beginning and the end. Okay, no name above his name. That's why I call on his name. I wrote about that in my song. I'll be satisfied, to be exact. Look it up. But yes, indeed. I'm just over here, just outside, enjoying the air before I get back into the cold box. Thank God for century and heat. Thank you, Jesus. I could have, because right now, things could be so different. I could be in a hot house, or let alone underneath a bridge. And I'm just so thankful. Just so thankful. Just so thankful. No matter what they say, I am just so thankful. So you'll be fine. So things are subject to change. To change. That's right. They will change. They will change. That's why I don't let a lot of things. I try not to let a lot of things get me upset because I don't like being upset. Because I'm a very positive person. I know I don't always sound like it, but I'm a very positive person, and I don't like my peace being destroyed. I mean, I'm not destroyed, but being messed with. And I'm always gonna be that person, no matter no matter how hard it may be, no matter how hard it may get for me, you know, I'm gonna be the person that I know I can be. Yes, indeed. Because a lot of times it's not always positive vibes. Sometimes it's a little bit of negative vibes. It really is. But you just have to keep the faith and keep pushing. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna just let the world think what they want to think. I'm not proving any points to anybody. That's one thing I'm not doing. So, whatever people may hear about me, hey, I would just say believe what you want to believe, or better yet, how about Lizzo? All the rumors are true. All the rumors are true. I mean, we all have skeletons in our closet. No one is perfect around here, so it just so happened that mine just got put out. But you can believe certain things. Believe certain everything. Everything is not always true. So believe what you want to believe. I'm just putting it in out there in the atmosphere and just say, hey, I know the truth about me. About myself, and I'm going to continue to still love on me, whether I feel love or not. I'm still gonna show myself. What is that called? Self love and self preservation. Hmm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that's why I'm so glad that I was able to be brought up in a church that taught us, scriptures and songs. So in times like these, when they hit you, you know how to handle them. You know, even though sometimes we resort to doing the opposite of what the Lord wants us to do, we always can turn right back around and and get back into that, that space of giving Him the time that He needs. And I think when I get off of here, I'm going to give him some of my time that he deserves, because he deserves it. He deserves it more than anybody on this planet, more than any woman or man. You know, he deserves it. He really does. He really does. That's why I'm so glad I'm not, you know, indulging in alcohol or, you know, marijuana. I'm thinking I'm going to just kick those to the door, because I want to live. I don't want to die. I don't want to die from scoliosis. Well, not scoliosis, but what do you call that? What do you call that of the liver? Something of the liver. But I don't want to have to deal with those issues with my body. You know, this is our temple, and we got to take care of our temple. And that's what I'm going. That's what I'm planning on doing, is taking care of my temple. You know, I reach 55 or 60 or 70. You know, I really want to. I really hope I can get to 80. That's why I gotta stay working out not every day, but maybe every other day. You know, if you don't have a chance to go to the gym, try to walk up and down the street for a few hours. Maybe when the sun goes down, so you don't get too hot, and you won't pass the hell out. But I want to take care of my temple. You know, I want God to be pleased with me. I don't want him to be disappointed with me or angry at me, because it's bad enough I already did, you know, certain things that I should not have been doing. But I really do want to just get right, and you know, hopefully I can be an inspiration to anybody out there that want to just let go of their sinful ways. You know, honestly, yes. Not trying to get all preachy, but it's the truth. You know, because time is running out. You know, to be ready. You know, and I want to live right for Christ. I want to live right. I want to be able to experience heaven. You know, and hopefully I don't have to go too early before my time. But I would love to just, you know, when it is my time, I want to be able to experience that. Because hearing stories, people say you just feel so loved, and you just don't really have a care about what, you know, about whatever happened in your past life, in your previous life. You know, it's like it's a new world. And you know, people gotta understand, when you die, you don't really die. You just transitioning to another realm. So death is not scary to me. You know, it's really not. Actually, since I've been around a bunch of things, well, a bunch of people that has been passing away, it's almost like a feeling of get ready, and don't be fearful. Don't be fearful. Don't be scared. It's gonna be all right when you reach to the other side. And I think people that and you know, a lot of people that may be scared to die, that's because they're not living right. But when you are living right, and you know that you are doing you are doing the Lord's work out here, you don't have anything to worry about. As long as you continue to and pray, and you know, and repent, because we also got to repent for the things that we may think and say, and the things that we may do. So it's important to just, you know, do those things, so when you get there, you won't have to have, and it won't, you know, you won't have to have any, well, it won't be no excuses, but you won't have to say, you know, you won't have to explain why you know, certain things, because you know why, you won't be doing those things. You'll be doing the right thing. And that's my main thing. I'd rather be doing the right thing than the wrong thing. You know, it's very important to me. And I'm gonna get to church too. Get right back in church and get my spirit right. That's Kool-Aid is pretty good. Yes, this is my first time drinking Kool-Aid in a long time. I don't really drink Kool-Aid, but I was craving it because I didn't have a Coke. And that's another thing. I gotta let go of these Cokes. Oh, I'm not reading the comments. She says, "Stay true to yourself." Thank God, he got you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's why I'm the person that I am today. You know, I could have reacted in so many ways. And people may have said all sorts of things to me, but the Lord always said, "Just hold your peace, and He'll fight your battle." And I know He's working already. I know it. I didn't seen it happen. Anytime when someone has wronged me, or it made me feel so small, as a follicle. God ended up dealing with them on down the line, later on down the line. Even when I wanted to react, even though when I wanted to retaliate, when I wanted to retaliate on people, I was thinking very bad, very, very not so good thoughts. But I could not react on those thoughts because I wouldn't be here talking with you guys right now. I'd be in jail somewhere, and I don't want to go to jail. I'm not fit for jail. Mm-mm. You know, I'm not fit for it. I don't know. Well, I'm not going to speak it out. I'm not going to even speak and say anything crazy like, "Oh, I can just sleep all day." No, I'm not going to be. I don't want to sleep in the cell. I want to sleep in a nice, comfortable bed. They got rats in jail, and it's dirty, it's nasty. It's like being like a caged animal. Then you gotta do chores. You just can't just lay there all day. You gotta make sure you get up to eat. If not, you miss a meal. I don't want to have to go through that. Like how I enjoyed today cooking. You know, well, I didn't really enjoy it that much. Well, when I do it, when I have the opportunity to when I have the opportunity to cook on my own, I enjoy that because a lot of people don't have that option to get up and just do what they want to do. They got to be told what to do, like they're children and they're grown. I look at stories online as people and I see how people messed over their lives. There's people right now in jail from the 80s and maybe the 70s, and they had they did some time. They still locked up, still trying to get parole, and it's just like wow, all those years gone, all because you made one decision. And I'm glad that I didn't make one, a temporary decision. I mean, a permanent decision for a temporary moment because I just lose so many years from my life. And I'm so grateful, so grateful. You know, the devil won't have no place in me when it comes to me getting upset and wanting to react. My reaction is going to be letting the Lord handle it. Letting the Lord do his work. That's what I'm going to be doing. People are very, very nasty to me at times, and I have to just really just let a lot of stuff go and give it to him. I don't give people what they want out of me. I really don't. There's no need to at times. There's no need to. There's no need to. Yes, indeed. That's right, Tasty. Always remain grateful. I wish I could sing a tune, but I can't. I'm not in that space right now, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. People love to make fun of me because I stay with my family. Well, hell, you know, who's to say if something was to happen to you guys out there? Not the ones that's in this room listening, but who's to say that to the ones laughing about that? What would you do? Would you go to a shelter or would you go to family? Me personally, ain't nobody gonna treat you better like your family is out there, even though certain people, family members are different and they may, be a little bit harsher than others. But I'd rather be with family. I'd rather not be in a shelter, you know. I'd rather be with my family. I have options to get on the system, but I don't want to get on the system. I don't need to get on the system. There's no need to get on the system. And I heard about that administration, what they're trying to do for people that's on the system. They give them a 2-year max, which is so pathetic to me. Like, what about the elderly people that's on the system? Where are they going to go? And it's sad that that administration is not thinking about people that need those assistance because they may not even have families still alive, And I'm gonna be praying my best for them because it can be frustrating to think like people are taking away people of assistance that really do need them, you know, that really do need them. And a lot of them are Black, Hispanics, maybe a few whites. I don't know about the Chinese or the Koreans, But I just know about those other ones, Mexicans, they definitely needed to as well. So I enjoy listening to you because you, spirit, is true. Thank you. This is only this is, I would say it's the God in me, but it's probably just, it could be, well, we all got God in us because we come from Him. But it's just the Spirit, it's just maybe the Holy Spirit, it just comes to me, and which is Him. It's just sometimes you have to cut out all that cussing and that bad talking. There's a lot of things that I have to repent for. It's a lot of things that I have to repent for. And I say we have to stay on our knees daily because we entertain certain things, and we have to constantly ask for forgiveness, and not go back and do the same thing over and over again. Even though it's a test, and even though it's something that we may enjoy doing, but we also have to cut it off. It's at some point we have to cut it off. You know, it's either His way or no way. You know, we can't be in between. You know, we can't be in between. And I'm working on myself. I'm trying to work on not being in between. But it's gonna be a daily step by step. Mm-hmm. Step by step. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I would advise you guys to just continue to pray for our nation, really for the world. And I feel like the enemy is really trying to attack us. We need prayer over this nation. We need prayer over our family members every day, daily. Because the enemy is out to kill, steal, and destroy. He wants you to do the opposite of what God wants you to do. You know, and that's real. That's real talk. It really is. It really is. Yeah. You said stay with your family till you can do better. Yes, indeed. And you know what? I would say when it comes to staying with family members and staying with and being on maybe Section 8, those things are just a step stool for you to you know get things together when you are able, and when you are happy at a certain amount that you may have saved up. That's when you go out there and find you something that you can afford, and you just keep adding whatever you already have, keep adding to it, and you'll be still staying afloat out here, just like everybody else is. hmm So thank God for those options. Thank God, thank God for the loved ones that it is allowing people to come into their house. Oh, I got a headache, you guys. I may have to take a pain pill. I made something. I was a little upset earlier, and I had to. Just thinking about certain things got me a little flustered, and it caused a headache. I haven't had a headache in a long time. But yeah, yeah, you know. So I gotta say that it's that's and I just gotta say thank you, Jesus, for people that do allow that do allow their loved ones to let me help you out. You know, all you gotta do is just follow the rules. And do you know, you guys, it's people out here that don't even want to follow rules. Nobody's perfect trying to be the best person you can be. That's right. It's so many people out here that don't even want to follow the rules, but they want to live, the way they want to live in somebody else's house, and you can't be like that. I know so many people that's like that. Is that Sunshine said, Castro, believe in it, believe it or not. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good you stay with with your mom because she's older now and need your help. You are there for your mom. Ooh, my eyes are messing up with me. Yes, indeed. Well, I don't stay with my mother though. I have stayed with her since I was 18. Well, actually, I moved out when I was 18. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. But yeah, I don't understand how people can just be underneath somebody's roof and don't want to follow the rules and be lazy. You shouldn't be lazy. I feel like if somebody's putting their weight a lot harder than you are pulling yours, you need to give it the program and then try to do something. I know so many people that's like that out here now. They just don't want to do anything. don't even want to help but, cook or clean, wipe somebody's behind, wash them, you know. I done did that plenty of times. I done did it plenty of times. And I didn't have a problem doing it. I did a lot of things that I did for my grandparents when before both of them left, when they used to stay here where I'm living at. And sometimes it's kind of eerie, and sometimes you get a reminder that they are gone because, I was with them for, since 2011. And when the last one passed, that was 2020. So, I was with them for a long time. And I had a lot of memories. Mm. Had a lot of memories. Had a lot of memories. And I miss those days. I really do miss those days. But, they're in heaven now, so they don't have to worry about what we have to worry about here. We just got to get there. Yes, indeed. But yes, I did a lot of things out of love. It was people that was staying here. They knew they seen me working. I was cooking, folding clothes, mopping floors, sweeping. Cleaning rooms, bathrooms, doing the lawn, cutting hedges. You know, going to the store with them, picking up groceries. They didn't have to do anything. I done it a lot. I done it a lot. I done it a lot. Yeah, those are all memories. I wish I could do those things again, but I still got one grandparent left, and I do it. I do my best for him. Anytime he call me, I come. You know, I was coming so much. At one point, he was telling me that you can stay home because you're not getting enough rest. Because when I don't get enough rest, you guys, you can see it in my eyes. My eyes is a dead giveaway that I haven't been sleeping well. But I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying. I'm trying to work on that. But I'm just glad that I'm so glad that I'm not having nightmares. Sometimes I have scary dreams, and then sometimes it just be like, oh my goodness, why am I having these dreams? Because I told you guys I got a little heartburn. This meat, boy, that food kind of gave me a little heartburn. But I never told you guys. Oh, 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 excuse me. I'm so sorry, you guys. But um, I was struggling with sleep paralysis, and that stuff was scaring me, and it would wake me up and at any time. Like I told you guys, sometimes I would just only get 3 hours of sleep, or sometimes two, and I'd be up for the rest of the morning, seeing the seeing the sunrise, and then I'd be going to sleep in the afternoon, or better yet, really later on in the morning. And I didn't like that because a lot of the times I would have to get up and do stuff for certain people that needed my help. But I'm definitely enjoying my break. I'm enjoying my break. Um, and also I'm still trying to put in a little applications here and there so I can get a gig, because I really just want to let a lot of the things go that I've been on. I feel like they've been hindering me for over the years. I haven't been progressing like my peers, and I want to be progressive. And I want certain things. I want to be able to, you know, not worry about, can I do this? Do I got enough in my pocket to do that? I want to know so I can. I want to know it's already there so I can do it. you know, I want to know. I want to know I can do it. I can do it. It's already there. It's covered. You know, I want to be able to pay for the whole table one day without anybody going in their pocket. I'm that type of person. I always been a help to people that needed me. I always been a help, and then anytime I may have left them, they really wanted me to come back because they never had a person that was like me. That someone that is very 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 reliable. They can rely on me. Someone that will take a job seriously, because people don't know that no matter whether it was on top of the table or under the table, I still did the work. I still did it. You know, that's why I never understood how people can discredit me about the things that I done, because I never came out here begging every day. No one knew a lot of the times that, you know, when things that it was, well, when I was doing YouTube, sometimes things got pretty tight. No one knew that. No one knew. I didn't tell anybody that it was like eating slop. I was eating what do you call this stuff that it was like, what is it, stovetop? There was times where, it was low on food, and I was, we didn't had like stovetop to eat, and I warmed that up on the stove, and I, cooked that, and that'd be like the only thing I could eat. It was a lot of things that I kind of overcame. Sometimes I used to, I don't mind telling you guys this, but sometimes I used to sleep half a day so I wouldn't be hungry for the whole day. I know that sounds kind of crazy, right? But yeah, I used to be like that a long time ago. But things have changed, and I don't have to worry about doing that anymore. Mm-mm. I'm more diligent I'm more smart, and I'm being a good person with my money. You know, I'm not young and being silly and just doing this and doing that and looking crazy when it's kind of at the end of the month. But yeah, but it's been good though. It's been good. I can't complain, you guys. I cannot complain. Can't complain because it's somebody out there that got it worse than all of us. We got what we got. It's somebody that's out there that don't have what you have. So that's why I can't be over here complaining or really be like, woe is me, and how come you know things are not happening for me. Whatever would happen for me would happen. You know, whatever would happen for me would happen. And like I always say, whatever God has for other people, it's for them, and whatever He has for me will be for me, and I'll be satisfied with that. I've never been envious or jealous of anybody on earth. Never. Mm-mm. Never. I've been in some nice places. I met some pretty nice people. It was kind of half and half. They was kind of mean too, but they didn't hurt me. But you know, whatever they had, I never wanted it. I never wanted it. Never did. Oh, my head is hurting, you guys. I'm gonna have to get off of here. My head is hurting. But if I can inspire anybody out there, you know, continue to be you. Continue to be the person that you can be. Keep loving on yourself. And if you got somebody that's loving on you, let them love on you as much as they can, whether it gets on your nerves or not. You know, let them just love on you. You know, it's a good feeling to be loved, and it's a good feeling to know that you are loved by our Father in heaven. No matter what you did, no matter who you did it with, you know, He still loves you. He just doesn't like the sin. That's the only thing. He just doesn't like the sin. But outside of the sin, He loves you. He loves you. And that really means a lot to me, to know that He loves every last soul. And really, I know I'm speaking in general, but I know He loves me and He loves you guys too as well. It's a purpose that everybody's on this earth. It's a reason. Because He could have easily just, you know, decided to say, hey, I'm gonna take you on back home. I put you in your mama belly for a little short time, but I'm gonna just take you on back home. And then you'll be blessed with to be, you may come back down in another in their belly. It depends, but that's it's all in His works. It's all in His works. It really is. It really is. It's in His works. That's why I would never listen to anybody saying that our Father in heaven is not real. You better believe He's real. You know, He's the reason why this earth is going like it is, round and round and round. He's the reason why it rains. He's the reason why we have sunshine, the moon, stars. It's the reason why we can get, certain seasons. It's a reason. It's the reason why we have animals. It's the reason why we can cook those animals and have delicious meals. He knew that we would enjoy these things. It puts a smile on my face to know that. Clothes on our backs, you know, vehicles, you don't have to walk if you know how to drive. He gave you legs. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I'm so glad he gave me legs, and I'm glad, you know, one thing I can say that taught me this. When I had a leg injury, I think I may have fell down on my leg. Yeah, I think I may have fell on my leg. Yeah, I think I did fall on my leg. And when I tell you guys, it was hard. It was so hard to walk. Oh my goodness, you guys. I thought that having a tooth infection, a toothache or an eye infection was painful. But baby, oh my goodness, not your ankle, but your kneecaps. Oh my goodness. Look, it went from one leg to the other leg. And my, that was some serious pain. I never experienced that type of pain in my life. When I tell you, I was like, thank you, Jesus, because he healed me. Even though, he healed me, and I also, my body had to get back to its normal self, but he healed me. He had a lot of work to do with that, and I'm glad that he made our bodies, in that way to, kind of, it takes time for the body to kind of get back to its normal self, but I'm just so happy that I didn't have to have surgery. The only thing they gave me was a ankle thing. No, not ankle, not an ankle brace. I mean, an ankle thing, an ankle brace, but a boot. They gave me a boot. Now that boot was heavy, but I'm telling you, baby, I was in pain. Look, I had to crawl like a baby back home. People looking at me crazy because I was in excruciating pain. I was crying on the way home. Then some man seen me. He was like, "You need a ride?" And I said, "Yeah, brother." He was a black man. I said, "Yeah, brother." And he gave me a ride, and I didn't let him know where I stayed at because I don't really let strangers know where I stay at. And so he had he dropped me off at the corner, and I said, "Thank you." He said, "You were a lifesaver," because I didn't know how I was gonna get back home, because I was like, I just felt like giving up. And the only thing I could just really call on, I just called on the Lord. I was like, Jesus, get me here. Jesus, just get me here, Lord. Just get me here. Can you just get me home? I just need you, Lord. Get me home. It still brings a tear to my eyes because I didn't think that I could, I didn't think I was going to make it home, you know. Even though I stay like a few miles, well, maybe like a mile or two. No, not a mile. I stay right up the street from the hospital. I say it's probably like two or three. Well, it's like two of them. You know, it's like St. Vincent and that's UAMS. So it's three of them. I can easily walk to them. That's why I told you those are other options for me for work. I don't have to I can get up early and be right there when it's time for me to almost clock in. That's another thing to why the area that I'm in. But yeah, that's beside the point. But yeah, I was just so happy, and that's all I could do was just call on Jesus when I was just walking home. Just Jesus, 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 just get me there, and He got me there. He did. He got me there, and once I got there, really once I got home, well, once I got back on my side of town and I caught that ride and I walked home, I just couldn't do nothing but just say thank you. It was times where I walked in the heat at groceries, walking to the grocery stores, and that was about maybe 2 miles. 2 miles probably. Yeah, 2 miles. I think it was about 2 miles from home. So I had to walk in the heat one time, and the man seeing me walking, he was like, "Hey, get in, because I promise you, man, walking there was easy, but walking back with groceries in your hand, both hands, you guys, both hands." And see, when I shop, I try to make sure I get all what I get, so I don't have to go back and forth to the store. But when I was walking, I was just like, man, how am I gonna do this? I ain't gonna lie. And I walk and look, and to be honest with you, you guys, it was around this time. I remember texting someone around this time, so I'm telling them I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. I thought about going early was gonna be a little bit better for me, but it wasn't. It was actually worse. you know, well, worse. I don't know why I keep saying worse because worse is not a word, but it was worse. It was unbearable. I just couldn't. I was like, oh my goodness, somebody help! But I just keep talking to I keep talking to my Father in heaven, and he guides me. He gave me these legs. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to have your limbs. It's a privilege to have every limb on your body, your fingers, your eyes, your lips, your mouth. Because some people don't have all those things. They may have deformities. You know, I know a person right now that she don't have any arms, but she drives with her feet. hmm She drives with her feet. It's amazing. I've never seen anybody like it. You guys would be amazed if y'all seen her. A lot of people know of her too, but she doesn't have any arms, and she smokes with her feet. It was pretty interesting. Like, oh my goodness, like wow, how can you drive with your feet? But she does it. It's something that it's something that people that don't have arms and they are able to do things with their feet. It's something. It really is something. That's why I'm so grateful. And I try to watch, myself anytime I step out of that door. I'm always paying attention to my surroundings. I'm always paying attention to my surroundings because you just never know if someone is not seeing you, and you may end up something bad may end up happening to you. That's why it's important to look around, look both ways. You know, know when to get out the way. I would say that know when to get out the way. Honestly, know when to get out the way. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Even though I've been walking for a long time, I have not had any encounters with anybody when it comes to them trying to hit me. You know, and I'm not saying I don't even want to put that out there in the atmosphere. But when I tell you, the Lord watches over me, He watches over me. You know, whether I had to walk, 3 miles or 4 miles there and back, He watches over me. Because there's been times where I went to places where shooting, and I had just left that place, or someone got stabbed, and I was just there, And I had those moments. I have those aha moments, like, wow, I'm glad I wasn't there. I'm glad that I left at the right time instead of the wrong time. You know, because some people don't make it back home. They get zipped up in the bag, and here come the corners, taking them off to the morgue. And I'm so grateful for all that He has done over the years over my life, and all that He is continuing to do for me. Lord, I'm always trusting You, Lord. Always, always. I feel the Spirit. I feel the Spirit. I know He's not gonna never leave me. Never gonna leave me. And He's never gonna leave you guys. All you gotta do is just call on His name. Call on His name. You are a child of God. I had a song that's called I Am a Child. I should have changed that a little bit. I still can go back and work on that, but it's called Child of God by me. But it's like when the world seems like it's on your shoulders and your friends are not around no longer, just hold on to your faith and call on His name. You are a child of God. I am. I don't know if can I do that? I don't know if I can do that with my voice right now. Let me see. I am a child of God. Yes, I am. I am a child of God. If I hold on to my faith and I call on His name, I am a child of God. I love that one. Ooh, these mosquitoes turn me up out here, you guys. Oh, it's my time to get off of here now. Okay, so that's why you stay. That's why you stay fit. Having a car has its disadvantages too. Yeah. Oh heck, oh my goodness, my eyes. I'm not a silently reading because I don't want to sound like I can't read. I hate hearing me do that online. Man, to the point. Mm. Yes, and that's very true. Oh, my eyes are getting to me. But yes, very true. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yes, indeed. And I had, a lot of people that I have told, well, that is drivers, they do tell me that too. It's like when you start driving, you don't even want to walk. You don't even want to walk, let alone drive. Sometimes people get tired of driving. So, people say, and you know what, that's another misconception about me too. I have been behind the wheels plenty of times. Plenty of times. I just didn't let you guys see it. But I know how to work a little something, something. I done drove a truck before, up and down the street, you know. Yes, indeed. I know how to do certain things. Some people don't think I know. Some people think I don't know how to do anything. It's pretty sad. He said, "LOL." They park in the parking spot, and hold on. What is that? The closest to the store. Yes, indeed. That was my grandmother. She did. A lot of the times we didn't like parking too far from the entrance. That's why we always had that handicap sticker up. Because when you got that handicap sticker, baby, you're good. You're in there. But you guys, it's time for me to get out of here and get back in this ice box because it gets pretty cold at nighttime when you got central air and heat. But on that note, you guys, y'all be blessed and not stressed. Thank you for listening to me. I really appreciate that. And I will talk with you guys later on. Peace. Y'all have a good night.